There are too many groups, as you said, and they have been operating in this region from last, I would say, uh, 25 years after the 9/11, and all of them they came there and they remained there, and then they right now um, they have spread around almost in the entire province, and as long as the way the military is trying to contain them, look, uh, they came to the tribal areas straight away after 9/11. And if I talk about just North Waziristan, there is one division force. There is one division force just in North Waziristan, which is only one district. And uh, they are still unable to control it. And there is a de facto control of the militants, different groups. They have distributed areas like TTP and Hafiz Gul Bahadur. And um, they have appointed uh, uh, a shadow government. Their intelligence officers, their local administrative officers, on the similar pattern, the way Taliban did in Afghanistan before they took over Kabul completely. They and they had their shadow governments in Afghanistan in different areas, apart from where the when the de jure government also existed. Now, coming back again to the question whether there is if there is a serious will to contain or stop these things, which personally me and most of the people still doubt. They doubt because when they were supporting Taliban to capture Afghanistan, to take over Afghanistan, it was a very common, it required a basic common sense to understand that there is no difference between Afghan Taliban and TTP. They have been, the TTP have been working under the umbrella of Afghan Taliban. They have been trained by them. They have been funded by.
Sorry to cut. Why are they classified then? There's no difference. Why are they classified? Why are they?
You know, even at that time, before they took over the Kabul, when they were keeping and protecting and providing all kind of logistics to the Afghan Taliban, even at the same time they were the TTP and the local groups were attacking Pakistan military. So this confusion and their policy, which I believe, and most of there is a common consensus amongst the general public that it is deliberate. And as I said in the start, that it might be for some greater strategic purpose of the West, and that's why they handed over. Like the question also arises that even after spending more than 20 years in Afghanistan, why did the US hand it over Afghanistan to Taliban just like a piece of cake after fighting them for 20 years? And apparently knowing that they have sanctuaries in Pakistan, and knowing that they're operating from Pakistan, and knowing that all the fund which we are giving to the Pakistani government in terms of the coalition support fund and XYZ, they're indirectly coming in the support of these groups, and then these groups are then killing us in Afghanistan. So this is in this whole cycle, maybe for some strategic purposes they have been doing it, but as I said in the start, that there is a very serious mistrust on the actions of Pakistani military by the general public, and that's why we call it a control project, because previously, few days ago, I was talking to one of the news channel in an interview that there is one of my friend who used to be a member of parliament from Lekki Marwat. He sent me a video, and in that video there is a police station in Lekki Marwat which comes in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and the police station is covered by all kind of safety measures. And there is another police station almost 100 meters away which comes in Punjab province, and the policemen, they are sitting, without any fear outside the police station, and you know that there is not even a sense of something like that happening across the province. And this is why these things are getting worse every second day. Previously, yesterday there was an attack on Lee Khan in the heart of the city, and Banu, Lucky Marwat, Tank, Darasmail Khan, even up to Karak, Malakan Division, Bajawar, the rest of the tribal area, there is a very significant presence of Taliban in almost all over the province. And this is increasing because, after being through all this chaos and watching them very closely, there is a realization in the general public that what's happening on. But then, still power attracts people. If you can manipulate 2 to 3% of the society, the youth, which is attracted by power, the weapons, and everything, it can make quite a difference. So when a state tries to run something, I think attracting people and I think it's not a big deal then. So this is unfortunate, but the problem is that people have realized all these things. People are coming out, and there has been a very long resistance amongst the Pakhtunkhwa. They have tried to stop the leadership, but people are coming out without leaders. Someone just randomly posts on the social media, and then the next day, the entire locality, they come out and, they just oppose these strategic adventures. So there is a fight going on by the general public among the masses in Pakhtunkhwa and the strategic architects of this current chaos.
So tell me what you make of the recent attack, between Afghanistan or Pakistan and Afghanistan. Pakistan tried to target a TTP leader in Kabul. Afghans were saying that this is a huge, red line for our territorial integrity. They're blaming each other. So how do you see this? Could this escalate to something bigger?
Look, we have been saying it from a very long time that this chaos, which started from the Doha deal, it will not stop in Afghanistan. It will cross the Durand. It has already crossed the Durand, and it will go all the way to the Wakhan corridor in Pakhtunkhwa, in Afghanistan. There is already a presence of Taliban. So this entire belt will then in the future be used against China. Now, as far as the recent conflict is concerned between the aerial attack by Pakistan Air Force, I think it is unprecedented. But they did it because they knew it, that the regime, that the people who are now by force ruling Afghanistan, they do not have the legitimacy to rule Afghanistan. So they are on a weak position, and whatever we do, they do not fear any kind of response or reaction from. I call it a show between a student and their mentors. It was just something like that if you just concluded. One thing is very clear: Taliban are very much sure that Pakistan is their permanent backyard. And they also believe that they are not a permanent reality in Afghanistan. So I think up to some extent, yes, but whatever is happening, I think it is happening according to the plan. The conflict, it is a kind of orchestrated to create a public support or acceptability for the Taliban amongst the general public in Afghanistan. And I have seen on the social media that many people who have been at some time critics of Taliban are now, coming out in support of them. Well, the fact is that it didn't happen over the night. They stayed in Pakistan. They were trained in Pakistan. They were protected in Pakistan for more than 20 years. And then they were imposed in Pakistan. And it was very much obvious that whatever right now happening is, it is happening according to the plan. But as I said, Pakistan, they never cared about what happened to its people here in the country. They have always, specifically to the military generals who have almost been on the, who had always had the upper hand in every time of the conflict, just like, the Cold War, military general Ziaul Haq was ruling even after 9/11. Another general, Pervez Musharraf, was ruling. And right now, apparently there is a democratic government, but the fact is that this democratic government, there is hardly any government which is that much weak in the history of Pakistan. So it's the army chief who is calling the shots, and it's the military who is making the policies. And as I said, they have been doing their strategic adventures for a very short-term goals without realizing that what the cost of that adventure going to be in the future for this country.
When Afghanistan's previous government collapsed, there was a narrative about how Afghanistan is considered a failed state. Do you believe that Pakistan is considered a failed state? I mean, given the increased uprisings, the domestic terrorism, the insecurity, would you consider Pakistan a failed state as well?
Well, I think the way democracy prevailed in just 20 years in Afghanistan, I think Pakistan still have to achieve, I think I would say, half of that. As long as, if you talk about the fail or a successful state, the way things were manipulated in Afghanistan, the way things were designed for the collapse of Pakistan globally. And I think if the same things happen to Pakistan or any other country, their fate will be not, it will be the same like Afghanistan.
I mean, also given their international standing, because unfortunately, the reality is there's many countries that view Pakistan as a country that harbors terrorism.
Well, it is a fact, it is a well-known fact, and it is an established fact. The way we have been talking about it since the start of this webinar. Temporarily, you can get some short-term gains, but in long term, established countries, it cannot be run like that. Unfortunately, Pakistan is going through this. But again, every adventure they have done was for the strategic, I think, objective, or I would say the strategic gain of the US and their allies. How long they want to keep it like that, I think it's a matter of time. It won't take that much, but I believe that if, as you have compared it with Afghanistan, the kind of conspiracy which was planted against Afghanistan, the kind of conspiracy which was designed for the collapse of Afghanistan, I would say if the same is planned or imposed globally against Pakistan or any other country, with the political, unrest like the way it is in Pakistan, or with the economic condition uh, like the way it is in Pakistan, I don't think so that they can also face it.